Peace. Welcome back to Essence Tarot. And this is going to be what's on the Divine Masculine's mind at this moment. Okay. So let's see what's going on with the masculine and what's on his mind. Oops. Okay, so we got the Magician card. Looks like the masculine is trying to make things work right now. Okay, it said you can do anything, take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. Okay. So you got the Magician cards. Look like the masculine is trying to manifest right now. Getting things in order, trying to make better decisions. Okay. Alright. So you got that Magician card where the masculine believes that he can do anything. I guess what I'm getting from the masculine right now is that he's got multiple feminine energies trying to pull him, trying to pull him in, and he feels as if he has so many options, but what he's trying to do right now is trying to figure out how he's going to maneuver both situations. Okay, I see a masculine trying to maneuver both situations. Let me see what else. Okay, so yeah, unity. Like I said, there's some feminine energies pulling him in. Okay, it's to do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus a new approach. Okay, to see which works for you. Okay, a spiritual minded community. All right, so it's definitely a divine feminine energy that's pulling him, most likely telling him that it's time to return home, only for the safety of himself. But then you got the karmic energy also, that negative divine, negative frequency that's trying to pull him. So like I said, it's like a push and pull right now. Like I said, I see the masculine being pulled, and what he's trying to do is trying to find out what works best for him. Okay, he honestly really wants to have both of the females, not in one home, but at least in two separate places. So what I'm hearing the masculine say was, it's going to keep me stagnant from, keep his mind right, is being able to still have the freedom to make his choices. Okay. But like I said, you do got that unity card there. He is definitely involved in third party situations here. Okay, I'm not seeing a unity of love. I'm seeing that the unity is coming from the divine feminine frequency that's pulling the masculine in, but he doesn't want to be committed. So what he is doing is he is having the karmic energy. He's telling the karmic energy, I'm coming, and then he's telling, if you're a divine feminine and your masculine has contacted you, he's trying to tell you that he wants to come and see you. He wants to spend time with you. He wants to build a bond with you. But what he's doing is telling the karmic energy the same thing. So he wants unity in his own way. Okay, so we got the Magician. So you got the release. Okay, it's almost like the Death card in the situation. During this time of cleansing, we're supposed to release toxic energy, but in this case, this masculine is only releasing, like I said, coming and going. Okay, he's not ready for commitment. So you do have the release card. So sometimes he'll come spend time with you, or he'll call and text you. He'll get your high hopes up. Then he'll go to the karmic and do the same thing to the karmic. But only one line of communication must be open during this time, during this purging time. Okay, so we have the 13. Okay, during the situation that's going on right now with people being quarantined and just shut down, and a limitation of food and so on and so forth. This masculine is in complete survival mode for sure. Now what's happening with the masculine is that he feels that he has nothing, because he hasn't been prepared for this, because he was being very immature and childish about what's going on with the situation. He blowing it off until it really got serious, to the point where now it's happening to him, where now he is being told to get off the streets and go home, but he has no home to go to. He doesn't have a home of his own. Okay, he has multiple homes, but they're not his home. They're other people's homes. So do got released. So now is the time for the masculine to make a choice and release this toxic energy. But in this case, he needs to let go of his past. Okay, so the card says, let go of the past, and ending that makes a way for a new opportunity. Okay, time to move on. Okay, so the masculine needs to make a choice. He doesn't need to continue this third party connection. He needs to stop balancing multiple women. What spirit is pretty much saying, he needs to release himself from that karmic frequency. Okay, so any relationship he was in. Okay, so you do have the high priestess. Okay, so it just looks like he's still running from commitment. He's still running from his divine feminine. Okay, so you have trusting in your intuition, carefully reflect before taking action, insight that comes through meditation. Okay, and the second card was the Hermit. Okay, it says find a mentor, or it says find or be a mentor. Okay, take a break from society, a commitment of your spiritual path. See, and that's what's happening in his case. He knows it's time to come home. Spirit is telling him to come home. Feminine is telling him to come home energetically. The universe is pretty much telling this masculine to come home to his divine feminine, to stop. And what he is doing right now is he's still in survival mode, still trying to run. He feels like his divine feminine is not, it's not good enough for him. Okay, but he's gonna have to. What Spirit is saying, that he's gonna see a lot of masculines are gonna wake up and get triggered. If they're with these karmic energies, they're married to the wrong person, there's going to be a lot of shedding, a lot of releasing, okay, of the high priestess frequency. But it's either their divine feminines or their karmic, or whatever's going to happen. It's going to be an energy shift. Okay, it's going to be an energy shift, and this masculine will honestly start to see the truth. His anxiety is going to kick in. His dark ways is going to be revealed. He's used to leaving the house when it's time for him to commit his sins or whatnot. He usually leaves the house, but now that he's being told in a way that he is limited to going outside, he's kind of pissed off, because being limited to go outside is being limited to his journey to these feminines. Okay, he will have to make a choice to join his divine feminine. Okay, only because during this time the masculine needs to seek his truth. It is time for people to awaken, because if it is time for the creator of them to call them home, they're going to want to be one with themselves. Okay, in this case, this masculine has not yet become one with himself. Okay, but you do have his high priestess. Okay, this is a masculine who knows that he's met his feminine, his divine feminine already. Okay, and he's released her in order to, play games. Okay, but in this case, what they're telling him is he don't need to release his divine feminine. He needs to release that karmic energy. Okay, so what they're telling you is that they're telling him to leave the games behind. Okay, use this time of freedom, okay, to join your divine feminine. Okay, release any toxic energies, release yourself from any of those bondage, any of those relationships that were not fully committed to, because it was more, like I said, it was more survival mode. Their spirit is telling them to wake up, and it's really getting serious for them. Okay, where the body is being told to sit down. So you do got the high priestess, feminine energy. They're telling him to settle down with your divine feminine, to go into quarantine with your feminine, only because there will be a divine presence to protect you and your feminine from any kind of situation that's going to keep you two apart. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, yeah, so you got loyalty. Okay, so the masculine needs to work on his loyalty. All right, he still lacks discipline. He still lacks the ability to be truthful. Okay, now him coming into union with his feminine, he has to be able to be loyal to himself. He has to be true. Okay, Spirit is saying that um, he has not been loyal. Okay, he has not been loyal to his feminine. Oops, let's see. Okay, so you got forbidden. Okay, so he's been in unions where he was forbidden to be in. Okay, he has not been loyal to his feminine. He has not been loyal to his divine purpose. Has not been loyal to his union. Like I said, there's still a third party situation going on, even during this whole situation, even during lockdown. Like I said, I think I did a reading or a live chat, a live where I said that the masculines was going to be texting other women, even in the midst of the feminines that he's around, whether he's around his divine feminine or his karmic feminine. He will be still texting, so he's definitely still doing so. He's definitely still talking to other feminines during this time, because it's almost like he's got to have that plan B. He's got to have that plan B. If he leaves her house, he has to have another place to go. So he feels like he doesn't want to close that door. But Spirit is telling him that it's not what you're supposed to do. If you just stayed where you belong, you wouldn't feel this way. Then you will most likely face yourself. So they're telling him that he's in a forbidden zone right now. He's not with his divine feminine. He needs to come up out of that frequency. Okay? These unions that he's getting into, they're forbidden for him. Okay, so you got success, and that comes from release. Alright? So when it comes from him releasing, he will be successful. He will be more successful if he just released that toxic energy. Okay, Spirit is guiding him every day, all the time, and letting him know, look, if you just let go of these karmics, we can protect you. We will give you, food and shelter. We will help you. We will give you medicine. We will guide you. Your feminine knows the answers, okay, because she's been awakened. So they're telling him to come home. Okay, masculine's being told to come home, that he will be more successful if he leaves this karmic. Things are not working well with this karmic. Okay, so you have individual. So when it comes, see, they're saying that he's leaving his feminine alone by herself. Okay, you left your feminine, you abandoned your feminine, you abandoned your purpose, you abandoned your divine. Okay, your divine feminine. That you must leave this karmic energy, because this karmic energy is not supplying him. Now that it is coming to a time where it's going to take a lot of strength and a lot of power and a lot of wisdom. It got to be mind, body, and soul. This is really going to trigger a lot of masculines to see. It's going to be like a test. It's part of a test to trigger these masculines and these feminines out here who choose not to accept their fate. Now that they took away the limelight from them, now they're on social media, and they'll go more harder on social media now that they can't go as hard as they can in the streets. Okay, I still see a masculine still saying, well, they're not going to take all my power away from me. And it's always a way to be a manipulative jerk. Okay. One more, Spirit. But he's saying you abandoned your divine feminine. Okay, you got fulfillment. Okay. So once the masculine go back to his divine feminine, now I'm not talking about the karmic. They're saying he's not fulfilled where he's at right now. They're saying that when he goes back to his divine feminine, he will be physically, mentally, and spiritually fulfilled. Right now, he is only physically fulfilled somewhat, but it's kind of fading because the masculine's mind it's kind of thinking about his divine feminine. And this is why he's keeping that line of communication open, which is causing him to think. And where the mind is thinking, sooner or later the body will go. The soul is already with the divine feminine, and he knows who the divine feminine is. But what he is not doing is being truthful to himself as well as his connection. He might be dealing with a karmic right now that he's been thinking a lot about spirit. I see another masculine who's been spooked. I see a masculine who's been afraid, who knows, like he feels like this is the end of days for him, that he may not be able to survive this situation, because it's like he's a man and he needs to eat. And if there's not enough food for him, he feel like he's gonna die. Okay, so how can he feed? And his mind is just going crazy right now. Going crazy right now. You got two or three different masculines that's pulling through. And if you're feminine and you're carrying the masculine energy, that goes for you too. And this person is completely lazy. This feminine energy has helped this masculine through thick and thin. And what the masculine is seeing now that he's been around this karmic energy is that this karmic energy is not much of a supplier as she say she was or pretend to be. When the shit hit the fan, I'm seeing the masculine say, when the shit hit the fan, she started panicking and looking at him for guidance. But he was like, well, I was looking at you for guidance. So it was like they both lost in this karmic situation, and this is why the spirit want him to leave it. That he will be more successful with his divine feminine, because the divine feminine is tuned into the gods, it's infinite knowledge, where she will always be gaining wisdom and gaining power and gaining guidance. Something will tell her to do something, which spirit will tell her where to go to get the food, where to go to get the good supply, and what you have to do, as well as remedies to cure any issues towards the body. So he has to make that choice. Okay, if it haven't happened yet, it will eventually. Okay, he will contact you during this time of lockdown. I see a masculine just sobbing. I see him hurt because he's like, I cannot go out like this. I know there was something special between me and my feminine, but I'm out here dealing with this karmic. Now that he see that physically, I can't look at another woman unless I'm looking at her online. And that virtual, this masculine is a very physical person. He's not too much of the virtual. The virtual comes second, but the first is physical. And it can only do so much for the masculine before he has physical needs, wants, and desires. And it's not satisfying this masculine at all. So it's going to cause this masculine to want to cheat. Now what he's going to do is try to meet another female, okay, or go back to his divine feminine. Okay, what I see what happens when he go back to his divine feminine is that he will start to do his spiritual work, and it will kind of take him on another journey, take his mind on another journey, and that's what he's going to seek. His mind, he wants the strength. Okay, but he has to make the move first. He has to leave his old situation and come to the new one. If he's already, I'm talking to those who have already met their partner. Okay, who already met their partner, and you guys had that soul to soul recognition, and you now know who you are. You now identify your flesh to what spirit has given you. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.